Over one-third of adults in America are considered obese. Since the beginning of the new century, this statistic should not come as a surprise to anyone. But what most people do not realize is that the aforementioned statistic also applies to adults who would be considered malnourished. My theory is that the relationship between obesity and malnutrition can be established through the lack of nutrients in affordable food, government regulations in food marketing, and education for children about healthy eating habits. Nearly 70% of the American diet is processed. The invention of the assembly line ensured that food had to be made in a way that was efficient towards a long shelf life. Chemicals were used to enhance the lifespan and flavor of foods, but with the additions of artificial additives, essential nutrients such as calcium, fiber, potassium, protein, and vitamin D had to be removed. This causes obesity when the nutrients are replaced with chemicals and that the small intestine can't find a use for. They are then sent off into fat tissues. One of the most influential ways of selling a product is through commercial advertising. Due to this, there are laws in place to prevent false advertising. But what if that's not enough? Fast food advertisements can be found on almost every channel and every billboard. They encourage people that they are hungry now, even if they weren't before. Fast food commercials should be banned just as commercials for cigarettes were in the 70s. They are just as deadly and just as addictive. Instead, they should be replaced by PSAs such as this one by Nickelodeon to warn of the dangers of not eating healthy.
Nickelodeon presents How to Be Well. Tips for living well and staying in shape. Today's tip, look out for hidden sugar. We all know sugar is in candy, cake, and other sweet treats, but sugar also lurks in places you'd never expect. Granola bars, baked beans, even ketchup is loaded with added sugar. All that sugar can really add up, and too much sugar isn't good for anyone.
Ew.
So how can you tell where sugar is hiding? Check the ingredients on the package label for sugar, or sugar disguised with names like glucose, sucrose, dextrose, and maltose. All words that rhyme with gross. Remember, sugar can be sneaky, so be in the know and read as you go. Brought to you by Nickelodeon.
Children are the building blocks of the future. They will be the ones to increase or decrease the one-third of adults who are obese. With the hope to decrease, most public schools include a health class with a section on nutrition. While this is a great step in the right direction, most health classes are only a quarter of a semester long. What if instead, the classes were made into a semester-long class? Better yet, nutrition could be added into physical education classes where children are taught how healthy versus unhealthy food impact their physicality and are taught how to cook and garden. The opposition to this would be that obesity can't be related to malnutrition in America. More and more companies are using organic beef, free-range eggs, and are therefore encouraging healthy eating. This is in part true, but seeing how to be considered free-range, all that's required is to let the chickens be outside for 2 weeks of their entire lifespan. And all that's required to be organic beef is to feed them an organic corn-based diet instead of grass. It's sad to think that a connection to obesity and malnutrition needs to be made, but there are easy ways to break that connection. First is to start learning what your cravings mean. If you see a commercial for a hamburger and now you crave that burger, reach for some almonds or peanuts or some fresh broccoli or kale. Next is to start reading the nutrition facts instead of the label. If the label says 100% anything, but then the ingredients are mostly additives or water, then you might want to buy something more natural or fresh. Finally, we can teach our children at home about healthy eating, encourage healthy snacks, and show them the delicious side of healthy eating. After all, you are what you eat. Thank you very much for watching my video. I'd like to give you a special thanks to everyone in the credits.